Artificial intelligence is reshaping how organizations operate, but its impact is only as strong as the processes and data that support it. To truly scale intelligent automation and decision-making, companies need a solid process foundation that enables AI to deliver meaningful and measurable outcomes. In today's session, you'll find out how SAP Signavio brings process data and AI together to accelerate transformation and power the next generation of intelligent business operations. Welcome, everyone, to today's live expert session. We're thrilled to have you join us as we dive once again into one of the most important topics in business today, business transformation management. I have the pleasure of having here with me Patrizia Calvia.
Hi, Tania, and hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
And Seth Lippincott.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for having me.
Patrizia has 25 plus years experience in the computer software industry, working in public relations, analyst relations, and product marketing manager with several software vendors across industries. Patrizia holds degrees in industrial engineering from the Politecnico di Torino and business with technology from the University of Brighton. Seth joined LeanIX in 2023 and has overseen the launch of several first-of-their-kind AI and AI governance products and features. Prior to joining LeanIX, Seth held positions as product marketer and competitive intelligence expert for enterprise software companies focused on business process management and data lineage, in addition to spending several years as an industry analyst. And now, without further ado, over to you, Patrizia.
Thank you, Tania. And hi, everyone. So yeah, together with Seth today, we'll discuss how SAP can help you maximize the value of your AI agent strategy. So how to obtain maximum impact from your agentic AI deployments. I will focus more on SAP Signavio, while my colleague, my counterpart, Seth, will focus more on the news on the LeanIX side. But during the session, we'll understand how the two value proposition really work in synergy, complement each other's, and can support you throughout your AI agent life cycle all the way through. So let's get started. And yeah, of course, agentic AI is getting lots of traction, lots of impact. Here is an estimate for Gartner, which states that by 2028, over 1/3 of enterprise software application will include agentic AI. So lots of momentum there. This technology is everywhere and is disruptive. It's disruptive, of course, because agents have this degree of agency, of autonomy, right? They can take semi-autonomous or autonomous decisions, even being creative or finding, new ways, innovative ways to reason and perform the task they are designated for. So a technology that is disruptive, and like any other disruptive technology, agentic AI comes with lots of questions. So where should I best in my process implement agents? Where can they make the highest impact? How do I make sure that agents are reliable, that they work as intended? How do I measure the value of agents? How do I design the best agents? How do I make sure they work appropriately within my application landscape? So lots of questions, and with SAP, and in this case with SAP Signavio and SAP LeanIX, we can help you get through the noise, gain clarity, focus, and governance over your agentic AI implementations. And let's see what we have put together that can support these the agentic AI deployments. So first of all, we understand that every company can be at different stages of maturity. So maybe you are exploring where to implement AI agents. You are in the very early phases. Maybe you are developing the first proof of concepts, the first agents. Maybe you have deployed the first wave of agents and now you are looking to monitor and improve those agents to make sure they stay in scope, they stay in control, and they work as they are meant to be working. Or maybe, and this is probably for a fewer organizations as of now, you have deployed a good number of agents and you're looking to scale throughout the organization. So the idea is that in each of these phases, we support you with capabilities that can really help you gain clarity, focus, and governance over your end-to-end agentic AI implementation. Let's see in particular what we can do with SAP Signavio. So let's say you are in the discovery phase. So you are looking to understand where it makes sense or where is most appropriate to implement AI agents. There we can help you with our process mining capabilities. So looking inside your processes in a detailed way to understand whether you have gaps, opportunity for improvements, maybe you have bottlenecks, maybe you have repetitive tasks that you want to automate. So really understand which are the high impact use cases where you can implement agents and also size the potential of these agents. So understand, estimate the value they can bring on your processes. Build and deploy. So no matter if you are developing your own agents or you are relying on a third-party vendors, we can help you with the build phase. Let's say an agent is a good agent, whether it has the right context, the right information to act. So when it gets the right instructions and it has the right background on the process it is designated to work on. With Signavio, we can provide that process context, that process knowledge, because processes are in our DNA, right? We've been working in business process management for decades. So we can really infuse agents with process models, with process insight, with business rules and guidelines that give the agent the right instructions to act. Now, then, when the right guardrails and guidelines have been set, we can help you mine and improve your agent. So look inside the agent behavior and do what we call agent mining. So really look at the agent behavior step by step, understand whether it is working as expected. It is, for example, not using data that it's not meant to use, or performing tasks that are not adherent with our business rules, or, for example, taking shortcuts and by doing that, taking decisions that we judge as unethical. So we can really help you get that understanding and also trigger the adjustment of the agent, reconfigure the agent so that these behaviors are corrected. Finally, manage and scale. So we can help you understand what is the value that the agent is producing on your processes, looking again with process mining at your processes before and after the use of the agent to understand where there are opportunities for further improvement and trigger this continuous improvement loop. Now, I wanted to show you a little example to make this all more tangible. And I'm using a video, so I hope you can follow me. This is a fixtures company that we call Lumin Solar. And we are looking at their sales order process. In my example, this company has decided to apply 2 agents along the sales order process. The first agent is here, and it basically identifies whether the order is B2B or B2C. It does that based on channel signals or tax ID, for example. If the order is B2B, then the process is simple. It gets approved and saved. If the order is B2C, there is a second agent coming into play. This second agent basically collects consumer information and based on this information evaluates the creditworthiness of the customer. And based on the creditworthiness of the customer, it decides whether the order is billable or not ready for billing. Then, of course, if based on this customer information, the order is approved and saved. Okay, so I have applied 2 agents along this process, and since I have event logs for this agent, I can look behind the scene and understand how these agents are impacting my process. And here, for example, in my exemplification, I see that the agent, let me go back. Okay, sorry, went too fast. Okay. Okay. Anyway, the agent had increased, we saw it from the previous slide, the agent had decreased the cycle time of the process, but had made the cost of the process itself to increase a lot. The costs were skyrocketing. So what I've done, I triggered an agent agent mining, an analysis on my agent. And even from this high-level view, I can see that the agent, in fact, is, and we are looking at the second agent, the agent is performing some task that I can consider as a bit strange or weird. So the second agent was evaluating the creditworthiness of my customers. By doing that, I can see from agent mining that the agent is performing some checks on my customer social media accounts. You see the agent is going on Instagram and on other social media. This is a bit strange. It's something that I want to investigate more. Also, the agent is executing a tree merge report, a report which is in fact quite expensive and should be performed just for orders over $5,000 way too often. So this might be the reason for my process having higher costs than before. Having found that, I want to generate a BPM and diagram out of this view to look deeper into the agent and the steps that the agent is taking. So, okay. There are some delays with the videos, but okay, generate the BPM and diagram out of the agent. And I see that, in fact, the agent is, executing this tree merge report way too often. And it's also performing check on social media, check on Instagram, check on Zillow, and so on, to understand the creditworthiness of my customers. As much as, it sounds innovative and creative, we don't want the agent to look at my customers' social media accounts to evaluate their credit worthiness. It's absolutely a no. Also, this three-merge report we say it should be performed just for orders over $5,000. So we have identified two behaviors that the agent is performing that are too costly in this case. This is probably the reason for my sales process, for my sales order cost to be skyrocketing, or are uncompliant. They are not adhering to our business rules. So the good news is that I can rectify these two behaviors in an easy way. So agents luckily are quite easy to amend, can be easily reconfigured. So yeah, next step. Yeah, I can open the second agent, which is the one performing the checks on social media. I go on Joule very simply and using Joule Studio. And I can tell Joule to add two additional business rules to configure my second agent. So here I want the second agent not to perform the three credit report for every sales orders, but just for my orders over $5,000. It's the first business rule I'm inputting. Second, block social media checks. I don't want the agent to use social media data and my customer social media accounts to perform credit worthiness analysis. So that is definitely a no. I'm going to input this new rule into these new rules into Joule to reconfigure the agent. And here Joule is asking whether I want to deploy this change now or I want to run the pilot. I want to deploy it now and make it more effective. Okay, so very simply, you've seen via this exemplification that we have analyzed the impact of two agents on a process. We have analyzed their behavior, their different steps. We have seen that two behaviors were uncompliant or not adhering with business rules and how we can rectify them pretty simply with Joule Studio. It was, of course, an exemplification, but to give you an idea of how we can best control and govern agents to make sure they really work in alignment with our guidelines. And with that, I would hand over to Seth to show you more about LeanIX, SAP LeanIX and the AI Agent Hub, and how this complements what you have just seen from SAP Signavio. Thank you, Seth.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrizia. Yeah, it was really cool to see how those agents, you could actually drill into what they're doing and help to try to steer and control them in ways that you saw fit, which really highlights the challenges that from an enterprise architecture perspective, we run into with AI agents. So if I just sort of if we think about zooming out and backing out to the architecture layer, and looking at our entire IT landscape, which is what you're trying to do with SAP LeanIX, we have a couple of problems with AI agents, and Patrizia highlighted them to a certain extent. I'll just reinforce them and the role that they play in challenging our enterprise architects. First, the scale, the speed and the scale at which agents are moving overall makes it really, really challenging for organizations to try to keep pace, right? If we think of traditionally enterprise architecture as being fairly static, not necessarily being as dynamic as other parts of the business, this would be where you're keeping a system of record of what your IT landscape looks like. We're not used to necessarily having that change as rapidly as it's going to. If we're going to accept the assumption from, say, Microsoft that they're going to have 1.3 billion deployed agents by 2028, that's a huge increase in what we have currently, and it's showing how the markets could shift really, really quickly. The other challenge to that, which is not dissimilar to what you have in, say, a traditional software context, is the different areas or the different locations where agents could be coming from. They could be coming from the repositories from our hyperscalers like a Microsoft or a Google or an SAP. You could have them be custom built. They could be, linked through an MPC server. So the fact that you could have them in multiple different locations coming into your landscape makes it even that more challenging to establish good governance and establish the necessary controls you have to make sure that they're operating within the bounds of your governance structure. The other part of it is, and Patrizia mentioned this, is the autonomous nature of them. So instead of it being something that needs or requires human input, an agent being able to proactively take action to try to reason through a problem or solve a business challenge that is being presented with, changes the dynamic of how you're going to be able to govern it and whether the visibility that you have is sufficient. Right? It's not just that you necessarily need to be linked to the IT components that it might support or the application that it might be acting on, but you need to understand the business context. You need to understand the business capabilities that it's touching overall or could touch overall and be linked to overall to really get your hands around it. So just a couple of things to sort of highlight from an enterprise architecture perspective where these challenges are. So we need to establish transparency first and foremost. From an EA perspective, promoting reuse of agents would be an additional benefit that you try to extract, because we don't want to be deploying things just once if they could be applied across multiple different business capabilities or business contexts. And then understanding what your performance looks like. So this is where it dovetails nicely with what SAP Signavio can generate in terms of understanding how your agents are performing and whether you need to take action to rectify any issues there. And then that governance piece where we're understanding where our agents are operating and how they are fitting into your governance process throughout their entire life cycle. So this is where SAP LeanIX and the AI Agent Hub is looking to help, right? We're looking to help you discover all of your agents across all of the different locations and providers that they could be across your landscape, and then understand where I am today and what's possible in the future. Where could I be applying agents that I'm not necessarily taking advantage of them based on the applications that I have and the business context that I have across my landscape? And then am I ensuring that I'm not running into this shadow crowd of agents, right? We had shadow IT being, an existing issue that might exist within businesses. Shadow agents could be the next iteration of that, where agents are deployed without necessarily fitting into your governance process or going through the necessary checks, and it adds an additional element of risk. So we're looking to combat that. And our answer to that is simply the AI Agent Hub. And it's the one location within SAP LeanIX where you can discover, manage, and govern all of your agents, regardless of whether they're built by SAP, a third party, or custom built by any of your internal developers. So again, the questions we're looking to answer: which agents are available? If we have pre-configured agents that we could be using, which ones are available to us to use today that we're not taking advantage of? How do I control them? How do I make sure that I'm avoiding complexities and not introducing additional risk to my overall landscape? And then what is the overall adoption curve look like? So am I in their life cycle, in the overall life cycle of my agents? Where are they in that overall process? Which, in the same way that we'd want to have that understanding within Signavio, you'd also want that understanding within the enterprise architecture context. And then their efficacy. Again, we want to understand, are they delivering value? Because if they're not delivering value, just like any other piece of software, they might be a good target for rationalization, which is obviously one of the places where SAP LeanIX can help. So if I'm getting into the first piece, right? How do we discover the agents that we have in our landscape today? There's a couple of different vectors that you can do that within the AI Agent Hub. The first would be the A2A protocol, where you can directly import through the API the data relative that you need to capture about your agents to understand what their skills are, what kind of authentication there needs to be, right? Being able to identify them and bringing that information in on an individual basis. So that'd be one vector that you can use to discover the agents that you have in your landscape. Very straightforward. The other would be, as I mentioned, registry-based discovery. So this is if you have agents that are deployed from SAP, Microsoft, and Google, and we're going to be adding many more registries in the future. These was the first iteration, but this is where, being able to automatically discover pre-configured through this pre-configured integration and detect new agents as they are activated in your landscape overall. So there's the API and the registry. So both SAP, non-SAP agents, it doesn't matter. You can bring them into your landscape and get the visibility that you need. So once you have that, you can get this overall view of your agents through the AI agent inbox. And this is where once you've surfaced all of your agents, we're looking to provide suggestions, pre-configured suggestions in terms of how they might be modeled, how they might be linking to business capabilities. We provide recommendations for that. And then once you've linked them to the appropriate elements in your IT landscape, you can create the fact sheet in your inventory, and then you have that record of what that agent is, what it's doing, where it fits in your landscape, and what it's connected to. So this is really when we're thinking about how we're modeling agents, we decided to make them an application fact sheet subtype. So they're not specifically agents, or they're not specifically applications, rather. We didn't think that an agent to application one-to-one ratio made sense. So they're a subtype of applications because of how they fit into the overall architecture. And we can get into that when we take a look at the meta model. But this is the idea of basically helping enterprise architects have a one-stop shop where they've discovered all the agents in their landscape, being able to then triage them in terms of deciding which ones they want to bring into their system of record, into their inventory, and which ones might not necessarily be architecturally relevant for them. So once you've brought them in, we're going to capture the relevant data about those agents, right? We'd want to understand what type of agent they are. What is their actual task? What kind of risk profile do they have? So this would be, data that you would populate both through the integration, and then if you need to go in and start to populate it manually through the actual agent owners or agent users to understand exactly what kind of business value proposition you might have and what kind of risks exist. So this is how you can really gain excellent control of your agents and get a really good understanding. And the beauty of this is that you can then surface this to any of the stakeholders that you might have. So if you wanted to have anybody understand where there's an agent that's operating within a certain business context, or for a certain task, you would have that within your inventory that you could present to them. So once you have your agents populated in your landscape, we can start to look at what our overall agent landscape looks like through the landscape report. And in this one, we're able to see what possible business capabilities our agents are supporting and where there's an opportunity for potentially deploying additional agents where we're not necessarily taking advantage of. So this is where pre-configured AI agents that SAP offers can be surfaced into our landscape. So we can see suggestions of where we might have an agent, where we could deploy an agent that we're not currently deploying now that SAP provides. So if I'm looking at, say, SAP Commerce, I can potentially add an agent there that I'm not using today that SAP provides. So it's this deeper context, and it's where our linkage with the SAP broader ecosystem really comes into play. So you can see I have a complete view of all of my agents and where they are in my business today. I understand the business capabilities that they're supporting, and I can also see what SAP solutions could be supported by additional agents that I'm not taking advantage of. As I mentioned before, the element of governance and control of agents is top of mind for all of our enterprise architects. And the way this would work is in the same way that you would have looking at the life cycle, the adoption life cycle, and the governance life cycle of any other piece of software or IT component or any other piece of your IT landscape, agents would go through the same process. So you can look at, as I'm going through my agents of different types, where are they in their adoption life cycle? Again, this is where SAP LeanIX is built to be a collaborative space for all stakeholders to come together and understand your as is and what your to be will be. So you can surface this to all the relevant stakeholders and give them a really, really good understanding of where am I and what are my approved agents? And making sure that your enterprise is only running those approved agents, right? So if an agent goes through the governance process and doesn't meet the approval of your AI governance review board, then you need to make sure that that is surfaced to all the relevant stakeholders who might otherwise want to be using that agent. Another vector by which you could surface those insights to stakeholders would be an AI agent portal, right? So this would be your catalog of approved AI agents. It allows business users to search for and filter the available agents that you have. And this is where promoting reuse and helping business users understand what's possible and how they could be deployed based on the business capabilities that they support can really be promoted through SAP LeanIX, right? So where instead of having one-off agents for every single business context or business case that you have, this could be the place where you're surfacing those agents that have been approved so business users can go in and start to leverage this. We've seen this with our existing AI governance capabilities before the AI agent hub was released, where we had customers who were surfacing all their approved AI technologies into a portal like this. And so it makes sense to continue to do that within an agent context. As I mentioned, if we're looking at adoption and how our performance is, we want to be able to surface that to our executive stakeholders. So in our architecture executive dashboard, we've identified 3 KPIs, and we're going to be adding to this throughout the rest of the development cycle for the AI Agent Hub. But right now we have 3 KPIs right out of the box that you can start to track and that your executive leadership can understand in terms of how many approved agents I have, what does the adoption of those agents look like, and then what is my estimated benefit, right? What in terms of business value, what am I extracting from these? So really helpful in terms of getting senior leadership or executive stakeholders to understand where you are on your agentic journey and how it sort of fits into your overall landscape. And if I'm thinking forward in terms of, right, what is my efficacy? This is where our relationship with Signavio and the linkages we have with Signavio can really come into play, right? How effective are my agents? Are they delivering business value? This is where Signavio, as Patrizia was demonstrating, can really start to dovetail nicely with what SAP LeanIX does, right? So we have governance as one aspect, and we have business value as another. And so within Transformation Manager, Signavio can help you understand how are your agents impacting your processes, right? Where are your processes that have AI agents yielding the most potential for value creation? This is where the 2 solutions relate to each other and dovetail nicely because you have the process on one side and you have the architecture on the other, right? So further with Signavio piece, right? Once we've identified, we can analyze to identify that value and we can monitor it over time to understand, is this agent delivering the business value that we were promised? And in terms of seeing if it's a candidate for rationalization, this would be the types of data that we would want to have to ensure that our users understand, or basically the organization understands, am I getting the business value that I should be? Because if I'm not, I might need to start to have this be a candidate for rationalization. So, as I mentioned before, AI agents are embedded within our meta model. And this is how we're helping organizations to structure your overall architecture. Hopefully this isn't new to anybody, but if it is, this is how we structure our overall meta model within SAP LeanIX. And we're treating AI agents as a dedicated fact sheet subtype under applications. So because of the interrelations that they have and the interactions that they have with the other different pieces of the meta model, this was the most logical place for us to put it. And the beauty of this is that there's no change for any of our existing customers in order for them to start taking advantage of this. It's available today to all of our customers, and it is on top of their existing application portfolio management. It is helping them today. We have customers that are taking advantage of it today and being able to model their agents across their entire landscape. And the beauty of this is that in addition to agents, the next piece of this will be discovering MCP servers as interfaces. So right now you can model MCP servers with the extension to this meta model. You can model MCP servers as an interface, but the next iteration of the AI Agent Hub will be to discover them. So that's what's coming. And just to sort of highlight sort of why we think agents fit into the application subtype category. This is how, for example, we would see an agent interrelate to the different elements of our overall landscape, right? So there'd be the application potentially that they're linked to. It doesn't have to be an application that they're linked to, but it could be. They're obviously linked to business capabilities and the business context that they're supporting on top of a particular platform with providers and IT components supporting them from underneath. So this is why we decided to have them be an application fact sheet subtype, and it's where they sort of fit in the overall landscape. So as I mentioned, it is available now to all of our customers. They can start taking advantage of it. It is under the admin section, under the optional features. So you can turn it on. It's an extension to the meta model to add AI agents as a subtype. So by all means, check it out, see what it's like and what it brings to you, because we're really excited about this. We don't think it could have come at a better time. So that's the AI agent in a nutshell. It's how we are thinking about agents and trying to support our customers who are looking to leverage agents in the same way that they might be looking to understand how they're functioning from a process perspective in SAP Signavio. We're looking to help them understand where they fit into their overall IT landscape with SAP LeanIX. So, summary and what's next? Right. So right now, we believe that capturing the opportunity for AI agents isn't about creating silos, right? We're looking to sort of have it be cutting across silos. It's not specific to SAP agents. It's not specific to SAP processes. It's about having the right agents that are grounded in the right business context and data, and that can work together with your people in cross-functional processes. SAP Signavio is uniquely positioned to deliver on that promise from a process perspective, and SAP LeanIX is uniquely positioned to help you from an enterprise architecture perspective. And looking forward, right, we want you to partner with SAP to get the support that you need on your agentic journey. This is going to be something that we're working on long into the future here, because we think it's really going to deliver immense business value to our customers, both now and in the future. And please connect with us, either myself or Patrizia, to understand better sort of where we might be able to help you and understand where you are in your agentic journey and where we can support you next. So thank you very much. There's our contact details, so if you want to get in touch, please do.
Great, thank you so much. And so also feel free to contact us via in the comments area underneath this video, in case we're missing emails. So feel free. Seth, maybe you want to unshare now, so we can go to the questions. Thank you. So I would like to start with the last question, which is, when was the release of the LeanIX AI Agent Hub?
Yeah, so we released it earlier this month. It was released on November 4th at the TechEd conference in Berlin. So yeah, it's been out less than a month, and it's been the adoption, and it's been great so far. We've seen a lot of interest from our customers, a lot of customers taking advantage of it basically day one, and deploying a lot of agents. I thought it was going to be a trickle, but it has been a deluge.
I can imagine. Then I would like to come to our first question. So this refers to pretty much in the beginning. Maybe Patrizia, this is a question for you. Which role in a SAP project is touching these topics? In brackets, AI, in other products like LeanIX or Signavio.
Yeah, so for this, as you've seen with SAP Signavio and SAP LeanIX, we tackle both the process and enterprise architecture perspective. On the Signavio side, when it's about analyzing your processes and also analyzing the agent behavior, we see a great interest from process owners, process experts up though to the C levels, right? Who want to understand what are the outcomes and the impact of these agents on the business. We have this ability to link the process and agent analysis to a value analysis. And this it makes the whole activity and the whole effort very interesting also to the C level, so up to the CEO.
Great. Attendees said thank you. So the next question is for teams early in their AI agent journey. What's driving the need for an AI agent hub? And what are we seeing so far in terms of early adoption compared to peers?
So yeah, as I mentioned, the early adoption has been really strong. We were lucky enough to work with one of our best customers in terms of co-innovating on building the AI Agent Hub. So it was built with customers that have a need to model their agents today in mind, right? It's not just modeling agents for agent's sake, it's with specific use cases and business context in mind. And so that's why we tried to make it as flexible as possible for any agent that you're looking to deploy. Doesn't matter where it comes from, looking to help you understand that landscape. So for organizations that are just starting out in understanding their landscape, right, it is as big as you want to make it. So you want to model one agent, that's fine. You want to model 100 agents, that's also fine. It's not meant to be prohibitive in that respect. It's meant to allow you the flexibility that you need as you're going to scale up, or if you're just starting out, just dip your toe in at this stage. So it's really meant to just help you wherever you are in your journey from an AI agent perspective.
Great. Thank you, Seth. Another question is how about SAP HANA? And that question was when relatively in the middle. Unfortunately, I didn't look at the number of the presentation of the slide deck, but I think you mentioned some were hyperscalers, Microsoft. So maybe I guess that's what the question is referring to. How about SAP HANA?
So it might be in respect to the agents that SAP deploys. So as I mentioned, we can surface agents and make suggestions in terms of the agents that you could be deploying today that are available from SAP. So if you use HANA and there are agents that you're not taking advantage of that act on processes that you have in HANA, those would be surfaced automatically within SAP LeanIX. In the same way that we have SAP Software Discovery, this is SAP Agent Discovery. Think of it that way. So any SAP agents that you have or any SAP agents that are available, because we have that integration with the repository that SAP maintains, those will be surfaced. So if you deploy one, you'll be able to import all the relevant data about that agent in the same way as if you built it with Microsoft Copilot or with Google.
Great, thank you so much. Then we have a next question. Is a suggested SAP AI agents to business capabilities an out-of-the-box feature? Can it be used to any business capabilities maps, or does it need to be a template provided by LeanIX?
Yeah, no. So this is out of the box, and this would be suggested. So that it's going to have its best guess as to which business capabilities a specific agent might be linked to. You can obviously link it manually if it's something that is outside of what we might typically see. But the idea is if you have an agent that has data that comes in through that API that suggests what business capabilities it supports, we'll link it to those business capabilities if they exist within your landscape. So it is designed to link those automatically, but if you needed to make a change, obviously you could. It's very simple.
Thank you. Then the next one is, I'm modeling with SAP Signavio Process Manager. Do I already have the chance to use an AI?
So this might not be related specifically to the AI agent discovery that we've seen today, but there are a number of capabilities, AI capabilities that our customers can use for AI in modeling. We have a couple of recommenders, AI recommenders. So one is the process content recommender, which based on SAP best practices, basically scans a number of gold standard process models and provides you the best process model to apply based on your query. The same for a performance indicators recommender that you can use to understand which are the best KPIs to apply along the process, a process that you are modeling. Also, we have recently released a text-to-process capability in AI, where starting from a text description, you can generate a process model. So that's super appealing, and it really helps modeler accelerate their modeling activity starting from a simple text description. Those are the free capabilities that are now available in Signavio that we released for process modelers more specifically.
Thank you, Patrizia. The next question is, the benefits of LeanIX notwithstanding, for mid-sized organizations that may not have a business justification to deploying LeanIX, what possible options do they have?
So I understand the question correctly. If they're a mid-sized organization and they don't have a business case for LeanIX, was that the question?
That's what I understand, I
Okay.
guess.
So we work with organizations of all sizes. If you have an enterprise architecture practice that you're looking to gain a better understanding of what your as is and your to be will be, doesn't really matter the size of your organization. We certainly work with small and medium organizations. It's not, we might be part of the SAP family, but we absolutely work with smaller customers that have, only say 100 applications or, 200 applications in their overall landscape. And don't need, thousands of applications modeled in their inventory. But if you're looking to have something better than, say, Excel and PowerPoint for your overall enterprise architecture practice, then yeah, please give us a call because we can help you with that.
Right. Thank you, Seth. I hope this helps you further. Then currently we don't have the questions in the chat, but I have some questions for you, Patrizia. In the very beginning, is this proposition for SAP agents specifically?
No, it is not for SAP agents specifically. It is for SAP agents, of course, but also for third-party agents or custom agents. So for the agents the organization might be developing by themselves. It's for all of your agents, and I'm talking here both for Signavio and LeanIX.
Thank you. Seth, I have another question for you. Can you imagine working with organizations with less than 100 applications?
Yes, I can. I can imagine that. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing is it's not really the size of your landscape. It's oftentimes it's about the complexity of it. And so even if you don't have a ton of applications, but you have a really complex environment, and that's really hard to manage with a combination of Excel and maybe some Archimate diagrams or what have you. Yeah, it's not really about the size of the number of applications, but the complexity that it can exist. And if there are any plans to have a to be modeled, that's really hard to do if it's super complex and you don't have the visibility into it. So yeah.
Great, thank you. So please reach out to Seth. So, Patrizia, how should companies start? I mean, that's a question we often get from the user groups. So how should I start? So how should our members from the user group start their AI agent journey?
Yeah, and here Seth can also add to my answer, but we touch on how important is this discovery phase, right? So it's important to understand, and here we've seen we have capabilities there that can help. So understand where in your processes it really makes sense to deploy agents. So have a clear vision starting from these discovery parts. Having agents per se, or it's not the key, right? So success in your agentic AI strategy is not about how many agents you deploy, but as Seth was saying, it's about having the right agents in the right place. So doing this discovery effort where you really understand where it makes sense to deploy agents, which agents are available to you, and understanding the different agent types, understanding where and how they can impact your workflows and your team's work, it's extremely important. And beside this strategic vision, it's in parallel important to execute and to start piloting the first agents with a very clear purpose, a very clear goal, so that you can monitor closely how they are behaving and scale with more confidence. Don't know, Seth, if you want to add to this.
Well, I was just going to mention if because of the speed with which the market is moving and how agents are changing basically on a daily basis, you would want to be agile to that, right? So fail fast. If it's not going to deliver value, have a quick understanding of that through what you can get with SAP Signavio and be able to understand how it fits into your landscape with SAP LeanIX, so that if you did need to triage and rationalize and get rid of something that's not delivering value, you can do that and deploy a different agent, because there'll be another one tomorrow that might fit your business better or fit your business context better and fit your processes better. So yeah, be positioned and agile to fail fast, and that's I would believe that's what Signavio and LeanIX gives you. Is it gives you that visibility so you do know how you're performing, and so if something wasn't performing, you'd be able to address it quickly and easily.
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of this, as we've seen, is that we handle both dimensions, right? Or processes and applications. So agents are becoming an enterprise topic, and we really take that angle. We are looking not to work in silos, but really have this holistic vision of agents. So that would help, I think, for organizations that are starting.
Great, thank you so much. Now, Seth, another question for you. How is the AI agent licensed?
I was waiting for this question because it always comes up.
Exactly.
So we position, as I mentioned in the presentation, we positioned AI agents as an application subtype, but we don't think that an agent is equal to an application in terms of the value to the organization and what that should mean from a subscription perspective. So the way we went about this is 5 agents is equal to 1 application in your application portfolio management subscription. So if you have 5 agents, that's 1 additional application. If you have 6 agents, that's 2 additional applications up to 10, and so on. So really easy ratio to think about, right? It's a fifth of an application. And so if I modeled, 25 agents, that's 5 additional applications on my application portfolio management subscription. So that's how we're thinking about it, right? We're going to continue to iterate and make sure that this is in line in delivering customer value. But that's the initial foray in terms of how we're packaging it.
Great, thank you. And actually, another question is, how does the AI agent hub handle orchestration agents that aren't tied to a single application?
Right. So as you could see, maybe in the screenshots and in terms of how they fit in the meta model, if there were multiple applications or multiple IT components or multiple business contexts or multiple processes that they were operating across, you can link them all to that. It doesn't have to be a one-to-one in terms of the application to the agent. If you had multiple applications that an agent was acting upon or had some relationship to, you can absolutely have them be modeled against many different applications. So if it's orchestration and it's across multiple different business processes, then you can absolutely connect them in that way. You're not limited to just one application or one business process.
Thank you. Patrizia, I have another one which we always get from the user groups. How would a customer start with agent mining today?
Yeah, it's possible to start with agent mining today. We also announced this proposition very recently at our summit. So if customers have agent execution logs, they can reach out to us and we will help them get started with that.
Great. So just reach out to you and you'll help them start their agent
Yeah,
mining.
of course, we'll make them in touch with the AI team working on these products that we surely support.
Cool. Thank you very much. And then another thing that I'm curious about is, are you developing your own agents for Signavio and LeanIX?
We are. Maybe I can start. Yeah, for Signavio, we just announced five new agents for our products. They range from content recommender agents, which based on a prompt such as "I want to improve my procurement process," they retrieve tailored content for your questions, so best practices, and also suggest the next steps to take. To dashboard analyzer agent, which help you understand your widgets and your dashboards with explanation in natural language. To other agents that simplify the work of the admin staff, for example. And we have the five of them in beta. So if customers online are interested to participate in the beta program, they can simply again write to me, and we'll make sure to put them in touch with the group who is taking care of this program.
Thank
The
you.
only thing I'll add on top of that is from the LeanIX side, our roadmap is public. So by all means, check it out and see what we're working on. I'm not in a position to disclose sort of timetables or what specifically might be coming out when, but you could be able to see any of the agents that we have that we're working on our public roadmap.
Great. Thank you so much. First of all, for your excellent presentation. We are basically now on top of the hour already. And of course, for answering all the questions, thanks so much. And a big thank you to our attendees for joining. I hope you got a lot of value from the session. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to both Patrizia and Seth, also to me. We'll be happy to help you. And with this, have a great day, have a great evening, depending on where you are. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.